Queues at Dover and chaos at airports. What's the government's response? As Minister for Ports, it's sorry to interrupt, but aren't you actually now Minister for Schools? Oh, yes, sorry, of course I am. I've had quite the couple of weeks. In fact, I think I was also briefly Chancellor of the Exchequer, although that might have been a dream. So why have there been such long queues at Dover? It's mostly to do with pent-up demand following COVID, and also the fact that our good friends and partners, the French, are lazy. No other reason? Well, yes, there are also one or two more checks at the border. In fact, the French border staff have to check and stamp everyone's passport, which is slowing things down, isn't it? But really, how long can that take? I mean, look, I lower my window, I hand them my passport, they take my passport, they check it against various databases, they take the stamp, they find a level surface, they stamp my passport, they hand it back to me, I raise my window, and we're done. I mean, what was that? 2 seconds? So you admit that Brexit is playing a part. This has nothing to do with Brexit, but you just said, I said there were one or two more checks at the border. I never mentioned Brexit. Turning to another part of the economy, new figures released this week show that exports from the UK to the EU have dropped by 14%. How would you explain that? Again, the pandemic was tough. Surely you have to admit that Brexit is playing a part. This has nothing to do with Brexit. Really? It's simply because we're no longer in the single market or the customs union, so sending and receiving goods between the EU and the UK is much more cumbersome. Because of Brexit. How many times? This has nothing to do with Brexit. The Northern Ireland Protocol remains a big issue. I know what you're going to say, so let me be clear. Now that we're no longer members of the EU, the unique arrangement we had in Northern Ireland is no longer possible. Because of Brexit. No, not because of Brexit, because we're no longer in the EU. Well, you're not listening to a word I said. Sorry, what do you think Brexit is? A democratic decision made by the British people that shall not be infringed. Anything else? A chance to take back control. Okay. And the proudest moment of my life. But it's also a thing that's happened that has consequences, no? Leaving the EU had consequences. Brexit is pure. Thank you, Minister. Next up, as the Tory leadership race enters what feels like its second decade, we ask, what has the United Kingdom done to deserve these two choices for Prime Minister? Then decide we don't really want to know the answer to that question and talk about the football instead.